Welcome everybody to the Cleveland Browns 0-16 rebuild in the year 2035. Anton Greenberry, we talk about this every year. He will not retire. He wants one more ring. He's 39 years old, coming off the best year of his career. And we're coming off maybe the best offseason we've had in quite some time. We added a great receiver in Latavian Cook out of Texas, who really could step in for Shadon Underwood and provide immediate impact. But Underwood's still here, and this receiving core is stacked. We made 2 first-round picks this year, the second being defensive lineman Parker Narath. I don't know exactly where I want to play him because he can play at tackle or end. He's actually an 85 overall tackle, but I don't know if I want to put either Frazier on the bench or Essex. We could just play him at end and try to develop him there a little bit. I really wonder what would be best for his overall development, because if we played through all the games, it'd be pretty easy to play him in a variety of spots. So I'm just trying to figure out how to make the biggest impact now. It's probably going to be him starting over Frazier, just because of the overall difference. That's quite meaningful. We also added a superstar development cornerback in Denard Hayes out of Fresno State. We took care of a lot of our needs this offseason. Safety we didn't address very aggressively, but I think we're going to be okay there. We're either going to see Pierce Gilmore take a step forward in the second year of his career, or we can try out one of these other players that we drafted like Griffin Waynes. I'll be sticking with Boone and Gilmore for the time being, and I'll fix the depth chart here in a moment. We still need a punter, so we're going to bring back Chandler Clark. We had him many years ago. I forget how many it's been. We could also use another second tight end, so we're going to be signing Joey Gage. And for some additional tackle depth, we're going to be signing Fisher Greer. And the focus players to begin the year are going to be safety Pierce Gilmore, rookie receiver Latavian Cook, and Aaron Rulin as we continue to try and boost this defensive line, which could be the best it's been in a very long time. We're also going to spend some of the XP for head coach Jeffrey Ben, focusing on being able to progress players at a variety of key positions. I'll hang on to the rest. 2 new injuries. Let's take a look at this. We're not going to be having Marquise Porter or Denard Hayes for a little bit. So Hayes was set to be our slot corner, and Porter the backup running back to Perry Cummings. So they're each going to miss a little bit of regular season action, not too much. That'll give some younger players a chance. I don't think I'll be signing anybody else in the time being. The preseason has come to an end, and Roland Iglesias seems to have done a lot with the opportunities that he had. 2 touchdowns and 61% completion. Not too bad here. The numbers are really similar to Anton Greenberry's when you look at the completion percentage and the yards per attempt. Then on the ground, Perry Cummings, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then it's Jai Merritt who gets the snaps in the place of Porter, who's now hurt. And he gets 3.4 a carry, which isn't great, but Porter was getting 3.6, so not a significant drop-off there. At receiver, Corey Stackhouse. He's made the receiver 4, and he's probably the best receiver number 4 in the league. 357, no touchdowns, but we're always deep at receiver. That's not changing this year. Defensively, what do we got? Do we have any sacks for the defense? We have a few. Parker Narath gets 1, and a few INTs. Good to see. With all the defensive end depth we've created over the last couple of years, we're going to be releasing a few players that we drafted. Deshaun Blair, I still think, has a few interesting traits here, but we just have some better players on the roster. I'll see if I can get a late round pick for him. Awesome, we get a 6th round pick in exchange for Deshaun Blair. Curry can no longer go on the practice squad, and I have to open up one more roster spot. So we're going with 2 quarterbacks, no Sanchez Curry this year. The roster is now set for another year here in the Cleveland Browns 0-16 rebuild. What's in store this time? I'd say we started the season here pretty well. 42-7 over Cincinnati. Thanks for visiting Cleveland. 4 touchdowns for Greenberry, 4 interceptions for Lawrence Christick. How perfect. Perry Cummings, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Merritt didn't carry the football much. I like that we focus so much on Perry here. Latavian Cook in his debut works out of the slot for 2 touchdowns with 119 yards. I think our offense is going to be pretty good this year. Defensively, who got those INTs? 1 sack for Essex. Then it's DeJuan Hull, Singletary, and Armstrong. 4 picks by linebackers. There was an injury, however. We'll take a look at this. It is to Jai Merritt. So now we're down another running back. We're going to place Merritt then on injured reserve. We could always return him after 8 weeks. But we'll just open up a roster spot that way and find a free agent. He just keeps returning to Cleveland. Welcome back, Craig McCauley. Latavian Cook is already pretty close to 4,000 experience. Yeah, he's going to be a pretty good player. We're going to upgrade his awareness with this XP and make him an 84 overall already. Week 2 doesn't go too well for us as the Chargers defeat us 28-21. Offense took a major step back, 2 touchdowns this time as we did intercept Schroeder twice and got 3 sacks, but still lost. We ran the ball efficiently, gave a lot of carries here to Craig McCauley though, and then Henry Hunt scores a touchdown, so does Rafael Carr. But how do we lose this game? It seems like a game that we should have definitely won based on how much better our defense produced, but that wasn't the case. Interceptions go to Armstrong and Boone. Well, we're back to normal in this game, 45-0. All right, defense, you're off to a pretty good start in at least 2 of these games. The Ravens are held under 175 yards of offense. We get 2 more picks, 4 more sacks. Good production already for the defense this year. Craig McCauley, why is he carrying the ball 20 times compared to 14 for Perry Cummings? That is not supposed to happen. Hunt scores a touchdown, so does Latavian Cook and Darion McDougal. Then for the defense, who got the sacks? 2.5 for Bird. Rulin is there as well. And interceptions for Gilmore and Boone. Oh, there was a new injury for this week. Was it Perry Cummings? It is Perry Cummings. Another running back injury. The hits keep coming for this team. So Perry Cummings is going to miss the next 5 weeks. Is that going to drastically affect our offense? Not sure how to feel about this one. We tied with the Steelers and allowed almost 600 yards of offense. So I'm not even sure who this defense is yet. We are getting sacks. We had 6 total in this game, but Hagan still had over 400 yards. Marquise Porter, he's back, so now he gets this golden opportunity, and he sure makes the most of it in this game with a $152 and a touchdown. We get a good game out of Shaydon Underwood, but the Steelers had 11 catches for Garnes and 7 catches here for Banks for a combined 269 yards. So I'm not sure why the pass defense would take such a big step back in this game. I guess the Steelers are just talented. Narath, 2.5 sacks, 2 for Frazier, 1 for Essex. And these 2 for Frazier are coming off the bench. That's really impressive. And then picks for Fanene. And I think that's the first tie of this series, isn't it? Has to be one of the first. Ouch, we lose 31-10 with just 202 yards of offense. All right, we're 2-2-1. That's good enough to lead the division right now. Uh-oh. Anton Greenberry definitely got hurt in this game. Not sure if it's for any amount of games afterwards or not, but that explains the lack of offense in this game. Iglesias, in the meantime, he was 9 of 18, 1 pick, no touchdowns. So the receiving game definitely suffered, and defensively that put too much strain on them, as we do get another sack for Singletary and a pick for Trey Boone. There was no new injury indicated here, so it must be that Anton Greenberry is alright, but he couldn't return. We'll see if this team can start winning a bit more now, because this is not a good start. Let's talk a little bit here about Pierce Gilmore and what he's done already in his career. I feel like he's come a long way. We saw him drafted, I think, as a 72 or a 73 overall. And since then, he's done a really good job producing and giving himself a chance to actually make some big strides here in a relatively short amount of time. So far in his career, with his 90 speed and 83 zone coverage, he has 1 pick, but he did have some also in preseason and in the postseason play. 76 tackles a year ago, 28 now. I wonder if he'll be the type of player that we can continue to count on, because the safeties in the draft classes aren't usually elite. So if you get somebody like Gilmore, it might be your best chance for long-term development. We'll upgrade his awareness, and I think we'll also upgrade pursuit a couple points. He's now a 78. I don't know if it's injuries or what the issue is right now, because our defense is pretty healthy, but they're not putting together good games anymore. Anton Greenberry, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The ground game slowing down without Perry Cummings. But I can't explain why the defense is struggling. We have very good corners, linebackers, and I think a really good defensive line. The safeties, that wouldn't be enough of a reason for a team to be bad, and they're at least, average players, kind of, right? So this is really a head-scratching stretch of games. This team needs a significant boost, and it'd be risky to bring back Perry Cummings right now, but we could do it. Acceleration, agility, and injury would take a hit. Is it worth it? We do have a 2-4 opponent next week. I'm going to count on us not needing Perry Cummings to get this win. So we'll see if relying on Porter here pays off or not. Oh, that must have not accounted for this game. I didn't realize it was Cardinals next. But we'll see if we can get back to a 3-3-1 record. Shadon Underwood is now number 9 in all-time touchdown receptions. And Anton Greenberry throws for 411 yards. That's what I'm talking about. We do get the victory here against the Arizona Cardinals. We're now 3-3-1. It's just a really surprising start to this year, and the defense continues to allow a lot of yards. We had to go to overtime to win this game. Anton Greenberry played very well, but I'm not sure how I can fix this defense right now, because I feel like we have the right players in place. It's just not working out. Latavian Cook is getting XP so fast. He's already an 84, and we just made him still an 84. I upgraded a lot of stuff there, it seemed, but he's still progressing pretty rapidly. Henry Hunt also getting a lot of XP. So I feel like if we can get our defense on the right track, we have the offense. I'm not sure if this is going to make much of a difference, but I did move Trey Boone to strong safety, so he swaps positions with Pierce Gilmore. I think it's just a better fit there, and I didn't realize Boone's speed was as low as it is. But I probably had him playing strong safety a year ago, just he was listed as a free safety. Not sure if that's going to make a change. I'm going to try to develop these players right now at the XP they have. So we're sticking with who we have. Like, look at this roster. It's pretty good. We have a couple standout players. Everyone's solid. They're just not playing like it yet. I think it keeps messing here with my depth chart. I can't keep Narath in the defensive tackle 2 spot. Maybe that's playing a factor here. But I don't think he's been starting now for a little while. It took a lot of points, but we do win against Houston, holding off a very fierce fourth quarter comeback. They scored 23 points and still outgained us with 500 yards of offense. We have good corners, good pass rushers. What can we do from here? We're just not getting results. I don't know how else to say it. So Marquise Porter, 2 touchdowns. We're getting Perry Cummings back next game, so that's very good. Latavian Cook, he wants that Rookie of the Year, and I think he's going to get it. Who can stop him at this point? Parker Narath gets a sack. There are a few interceptions out here. We can intercept the football, but apparently we just allow 500 yards first. We better take a look at players who will need to re-sign for the future at this stage. So we have Jamal Copels, Malcolm Moten, Shadon Underwood, Anton Greenberry, Charles McCarron, Raphael Carr, Marvin Frazier. Lots of starters on this list. We're not exactly high in funds compared to past years because we've already paid out so many large signing bonuses. So a deal here for Copels wouldn't be very easy. The Moten deal is a lot more doable, but do we need to sign him long term? We have good cornerbacks. Underwood, it's hard to say we'd keep him now, but that price point's very fair for him. And then Anton Greenberry, does he stick around? No clue what to expect. We've returned to our winning ways at least. 31-19. Perry Cummings is back. Anton Greenberry versus Preston Tant. At one time I wondered if Tant would take over for Greenberry, but he just never retired and still hasn't. Perry Cummings is back, 100 yards and a touchdown. Latavian Cook, he might be our new wide receiver number 1. He's looking awesome so far. And then defensively, we have any sacks here? Bird and Armstrong, and then picks, Denard Hayes. At this point, we are 5-3-1, just past the halfway point on the season. So let's check on some stats and see where we stand, as Anton Greenberry is having another phenomenal season. He could keep going for a long time. Marquise Porter, 4 yards a carry. That's pretty good production in the place of Perry Cummings, who is averaging 4.7. In the receiving game, it's all about Latavian Cook this year, the most catches, yards, and touchdowns. For defense, we have quite a few interceptions, especially at linebacker. That's really impressive to see. And for sacks, Narath leads with 4.5. Hey, we won a low-scoring game this time, 13-10. Just one touchdown for Greenberry. Patrick Nichols now on the Jets. No touchdowns for him. Perry Cummings, 5.2 a carry. Marquise Porter, he's producing as well. Henry Hunt scores a touchdown. Underwood, a $1.28. I guess, where's Latavian Cook? He take the day off? No catches for Cook. But finally a good performance by the defense that helps us get a victory. They're making some improvements, it seems. We have a 4-game winning streak now, and 2 of these games, they've been under 24 points allowed, so maybe we're going in the right direction. Now, our next game is against the Bengals. We already have a game and a half on them, but if we win this next game, we're going to have another game plus the tiebreaker. That would give us pretty much the division unless we fall apart. So, big week here in Week 12. We can't get it done against Cincinnati, and that makes things a lot more interesting the rest of the year. They basically saved their season today. We still have a half-game lead on them because of the tie, but now we have a shot at losing the title, obviously, and not being the division champions. Good days for Henry Hunt and Latavian Cook, but it's not enough, as the defense once again struggled. We've come to expect this team to have a top 10 offense and the top 10 defense. We're 11th in offense right now. The defense is 10th, but it sure doesn't feel like it. We're 17th in points scored, so maybe I am overlooking that a bit. We're 3rd in points allowed, but keep in mind we had some really good games in there, allowing like 0 points or 7 points. It's really skewing our average. Like, it doesn't justify us allowing 40 points in another game. That's still bad. We do win, but again, it's 35-31. It's the same story, just continued. Anton Greenberry, 3 more touchdowns. Perry Cummings, 74 yards on the ground and another score. We get Henry Hunt for 7 catches. Same with Latavian Cook, who's over 100 yards receiving. And defensively, why aren't we good? Essex gets a sack, and then Dodson a pick. Bryant Dodson comes off the bench. All right then, and Moten. I should do some negotiating here while I still can, and I definitely want to keep Malcolm Moten. You don't let good young corners leave your team. So Moten, we offer him the contract, and he does sign. That was a more reasonable signing bonus than, say, the one that Copels wants. So now that we have that one taken care of, not too worried about things. The Marvin Frazier deal probably won't happen. You know how defensive tackles have kind of been handled in this series. We don't really keep them very often. Anton Greenberry, you want 1 more year? Why not? Of course he'll sign the deal. Welcome back. Oh, there's a new injury on the team. It's been a while. And this week, we lose Denton Armstrong. That explains why Dodson got into the game. So Armstrong's out for the rest of the regular season in that case. The Bengals have now overtaken us in the AFC North. We are now at risk of missing the playoffs entirely. we lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our first game against them was a tie. Now we lose 38-34. It just doesn't seem like our year. For all the upgrades that we made to the team, they're just not playing as well. Sometimes that happens. It's just we've been so good for so long, and then to add the talent we did this offseason, who would expected us to take a significant step backwards? It doesn't make much sense. We're still in second place, but we do get a victory here against the Seattle Seahawks. Anton Greenberry doing everything he can right now. In his 18th season, he throws 5 touchdowns against the team that defeated us last year in the Super Bowl. Perry Cummings, 107. Henry Hunt, 4 touchdowns. That's amazing. That's got to be like a Browns team record. So, if the offense is going to carry us, we can still go far, but it's going to be up to them. Well, we got the blowout victory again, but I wonder if it's too late. The Bengals still sit in first place here in the division. Maybe we have to rely on a wild card berth this year, and we'll see if that's going to be even enough to get us, or if the wins we have are going to be enough to get us a wild card, because we normally don't have to worry about that. Thankfully, it's not a very good year in the AFC. There aren't any breakout teams with like 13, 14 victories. So we have a good shot here at the wild card. Let's say the Bengals take their division, then the Titans would take a wild card, and then the Dolphins could take the East, or the Bills, which means that we'd still have to beat out one of them to get to the playoffs. So if we're able to win and go 10-5-1, I think we'll get there, with that half win from a tie being the big difference maker. So let's go. Big injury decision. I think we're actually going to play through this one. Danton Armstrong is going to play through injury to try and get us to the postseason. Well, everyone, we did it. We got the victory. We won the division, and we got a first round bye. What a swing week 17 could have been. We got the number 2 seed, when very easily we could have just not made the playoffs whatsoever. That's how close we cut it this year. But we're returning. We have to win 3 games now, and I don't feel as good about this team as I felt about teams in the past. But anything can happen in the playoffs, so we're here. Now what do we do with this opportunity? Alright, a couple significant things definitely happened here. Henry Hunt has 30,000 experience. Pierce Gilmore, 35,000 experience. I'm not sure where Latavian Cook is, though, on this list. Only 57. That means he didn't win Rookie of the Year. There's no way. Henry Hunt must have made the Pro Bowl or something. I'm surprised by a lot of things right now. But we have Pierce Gilmore. He's taken that step right here, everybody. Patience pays off in a big way. Gilmore, he's about to become a household name with all this. Just making sure there's nothing I really want to upgrade down here. That gets him to an 83. More zone coverage will get him to a 90. Tackling. Let's go. 1 into man. 86 overall. Let's go. Henry Hunt becomes an 87 overall, leaping 3 points of overall. Anton Greenberry, there's not much you can do with this experience. With his recent experience, it upgraded his injury rating. We will increase medium accuracy. I thought Latavian Cook was going to win Rookie of the Year and get all the experience, but something definitely happened. He's an 87 still without that boost. The MVP this year was Hudson Spitz and head coach Andrew Duhon, the coach of the year for Seattle. In the AFC, what awards were there? Anton Greenberry, your offensive player of the year. Defensive is Terrain Mays. Offensive rookie, Latavian Cook comes in second place. Defensive, Decatur Mackey. Best quarterback, Anton Greenberry. Perry Cummings, not even in the top 10 running backs. The NFL's a brutal world. Perry Cummings no longer the best running back, apparently. Henry Hunt, number 2 in best receiver, ahead of Latavian Cook. And obviously Shadon Underwood. Best lineman, Jamal Copels. Reginald Benjamin on the defensive line. Joseph Johnson, Laurel Wall. All right, so now we're on to the postseason. We got to see if this team can get it done. Anton Greenberry, 48 touchdowns, 11 picks. He didn't slow down this year. We're still waiting for it. His numbers were so similar to a year ago. One less touchdown, but more yards. And a better yard per attempt average. Anton Greenberry could still play for many years, I think. Perry Cummings, 186 carries, 874 yards. He was hurt for a lot of the year, so that definitely played a factor. It was good we went and got Marquise Porter, but now Porter is actually out for a couple weeks. 3 1,000-yard receivers. That's historic right there. Unbelievable. Over 30 touchdowns combined. We have the best receiver trio, the best quarterback, and the defense who has playmakers, but they allow way too many points. Sack numbers this year way down, it appears, after a good start in that category. Not sure what happened. Our first playoff game will be against the LA Chargers, a very familiar foe. I believe they've been our first playoff opponent now for a few years running. And we'll sim through this game to see if we're going to the AFC title game. I'll be seeing all of you next episode in the AFC Championship. We beat the Chargers in overtime. And yes, the defense was a problem, but this offense, they can erase those issues. Perry Cummings, big day for him. Rafael Carr, 2 scores. Good job by both offenses in this game, but the Browns win, and we're going to meet up with the Cincinnati Bengals this year in the AFC Championship. We have a division matchup to decide who's moving on to the Super Bowl. And in the NFC, it's going to be the Packers and Seahawks. So it's possible we could see a Super Bowl rematch not next episode, but a couple episodes from now. But next time, it's another playoff matchup. I wasn't sure if we'd get here, but here we are. It was a different road than we've seen in recent years, but we have our chance once again. Can we get one more ring? Thank you all for watching. That is it for episode 74 of the Cleveland Browns 0-16 rebuild. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Do you think that this team, despite having a defense that isn't playing as well, can this still be the team to get it done? We're among the final 4 teams once again, and we'll see if we can do it. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.